Hello my dear children, hope you have gone through the previous video and learned about the physical features of India. Today we will discuss about physiographic divisions of India. It includes the Himalayan mountains, the northern plains, the peninsula plateau, the Indian desert, the coastal plains and the islands. In this session, we will learn more about the Himalayas and the northern plains in detail. Last class, we discussed about the formation of Himalayas. Indian plate collided with Eurasian plate and huge volcanic eruption under seabed Tethys Sea resulted in the formation of Himalayas. So Himalayas represents a very youthful topography with high peaks, deep valleys and fast flowing rivers. So Himalayas are geologically young and structurally fold mountains. They stretch over the northern borders of India. These mountain ranges run in a west-east direction from the Indus to the Brahmaputra. The Himalayas represents the loftiest and one of the most rugged mountain barriers of the world. Loftiest means highest. Rugged means rocky, rough and mountainous landscapes. They form an arc which covers a distance of about 2,400 kilometers. Their width varies from 400 kilometers in Kashmir to 150 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. The altitudinal variations are greater in the eastern half than those in the western half. The Himalayas consists of 3 parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. In the last chapter, we have learned about the latitudinal and longitudinal extent. So, Himalayas consists of 3 parallel ranges in its longitudinal extent. A number of valleys lie between these ranges. Okay, now we will discuss about the 3 parallel ranges of Himalayas. They are Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks. First we will discuss about Himadri. The northernmost range is known as the Great or Inner Himalayas or the Himadri. It is the most continuous range consisting of the loftiest peaks with an average height of 6,000 meters. It contains all the prominent Himalayan peaks. For example, Mount Everest. As you all know, it is the Earth's highest mountain above sea level and it is 8,848 meters. And Kanchenjunga, third highest mountain in the world, which is 8,598 meters. Both these peaks are present in this range. The folds of Great Himalayas are asymmetrical in nature. The core of this part of Himalayas is composed of granite. It is perennially snow-bound and gives rise to a number of perennial rivers. That is, the glaciers melt and comes down in the form of rivers. Example, Ganga rises from Gangotri glaciers, and there is an activity for you. Try to find out the names of the glaciers and passes that lie in Great Himalayas. We'll discuss about the passes in Great Himalayas. A pass is a natural pathway in between high mountains. The Himalayan mountains are so formidable that it is not possible to cross them. There are some passes in the Himalayas which provide route way across them. Some of the important passes are Shipkila, located in Sutlej Valley in Himachal Pradesh along Tibet border. Lipu Lake Pass near Tibet border in Uttarakhand provides route to Mount Kailash and Mansarovar in Tibet. In the east, there is Nathula Pass in Sikkim and China border, providing passage from India to Lhasa. And Bomdila Pass connects Arunachal with Lhasa. Lhasa is the capital city of Tibet. Now let us know about Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. The range lying to the south of the Himadri forms the most rugged mountain system and is known as Himachal or Lesser Himalaya. What is the meaning of rugged? Rugged means rocky, rough and mountainous landscapes. The ranges are mainly composed of highly compressed and altered rocks. The altitude varies between 3,700 and 4,500 meters and the average width is of 50 kilometers. The Pir Panjal range forms the longest and the most important range. The Dhauladhar and the Mahabharat ranges are also prominent ones. This range consists of the famous valley of Kashmir, the Kangra and Kulu Valley in Himachal Pradesh. This range is also famous for its hill stations like Mussoorie, Nainital, Ranikhet and Shimla. Okay, now we will discuss about Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. The outermost range of the Himalayas is called Shivaliks. They extend over a width of 10 to 50 kilometers and have an altitude varying between 900 and 1100 meters. These ranges are composed of unconsolidated sediments brought down by rivers from the main Himalayan ranges located further north. These ranges are more prone to landslides and earthquakes. These valleys are covered with thick gravel and alluvium. The longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks are known as dunes. So what are dunes? Dunes are the longitudinal valley lying between Lesser Himalaya and the Shivaliks. Examples of other dunes: Dera Dune, Kotli Dune, Patli Dune are some of the well-known dunes. Now let us discuss about division of Himalayas on the basis of regions from west to east. These divisions have been demarcated by river valleys. The part of Himalayas lying between Indus and Sutlej have been traditionally known as Punjab Himalayas. They are also known locally as Kashmir and Himachal Himalayas from west to east respectively. The part of the Himalayas lying between Sutlej and Kali rivers is known as Kumaon Himalayas. The Kali and Teesta rivers demarcate the Nepal Himalayas. The part lying between Teesta and Dihang rivers is known as Assam Himalayas. So on the basis of regions from west to east, the Himalayas are demarcated by river valleys like Punjab Himalayas, Kumaon Himalayas, Nepal Himalayas and Assam Himalayas. Okay, now we will discuss about the Purvachal Hills. The Brahmaputra marks the easternmost boundary of the Himalayas. Beyond the Dihang Gorge, gorge means narrow passage, the Himalayas bend sharply to the south and spread along the eastern boundary of India. They are known as the Purvanchal or the eastern hills and mountains. They are mainly composed of strong sandstones, which are sedimentary rocks. Covered with dense forests, they mostly run as parallel ranges and valleys. The Purvanchal comprises the Patkai Hills, Naga Hills, Manipur Hills and the Mizo Hills. Okay, what is the significance of Himalayas? The Himalayas act as a climatic divide. What do you mean by a climatic divide? Climatic divide means a boundary between regions having different types of climate. So they do not allow the cold winds from Central Asia to come into India, nor do they allow the monsoons to escape into Central Asia. They are storehouse of forest wealth and wildlife. They give rise to perennial rivers, example River Ganga. They have a number of places of tourist attraction, that is hill stations like Shimla, Nainital, Srinagar, etc. They are also famous for the river valleys, example Kashmir Valley drained by Jhelum River and fruit orchards. They also are well known for the glaciers like Siachen, the highest battlefield. Okay, now we'll learn about the Northern Plain. The Northern Plain has been formed by the interplay of the three major river systems, namely the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra, along with their tributaries. Tributaries means a river or stream flowing into a larger river or lake. This plain is formed of alluvial soil. The deposition of alluvium in a vast basin lying at the foothills of the Himalaya over millions of years formed this fertile plain. It spreads over an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. The plain being about 2,400 kilometers long and 240 to 320 kilometers broad is a densely populated physiographic division with a rich soil cover combined with adequate water supply and favorable climate. It is agriculturally a very productive part of India. That is, agriculture leads to production and it adds to economy. The rivers coming from northern mountains are involved in depositional work. In the lower course, due to gentle slope, the velocity of the river decreases, which results in the formation of riverine islands. The northern plain is broadly divided into three sections. The western part of the northern plain is referred to as the Punjab plain, formed by the Indus and its tributaries. The larger part of this plain lies in Pakistan. The Indus and its tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas and the Sutlej, originate in the Himalayas. This section of the plain is dominated by the Doabs. Doab is made up of two words, do meaning two and ab meaning water. The Ganga plain extends between Ghaggar and Teesta rivers. It is spread over the states of North India, Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, partly Jharkhand and West Bengal to its east. Brahmaputra plain lies in the state of Assam. Okay, now let us see the classification of the northern plains on the basis of the variations in the relief features. Based on that, it is divided into four. First one, the Baba Belt. The rivers, after descending from the mountains, deposit pebbles, that is, large stones, in a narrow belt of about 8 to 16 kilometers in width, lying parallel to the slopes of the Shivaliks. All the streams disappear in this Baba belt. Next one is the Terai belt. It lies next to the Baba region and is composed of newer alluvium. These plains are formed due to the re-emergence of rivers and thus creating a wet, swampy and marshy region known as Terai. It was thickly forested region full of wildlife. The Bangar belt, it is the largest part of the northern plain and is formed of older alluvium. They lie above the floodplains of the rivers and present a terrace-like feature. These plains are found far from the river basins. The soil in the region contains calcareous deposits locally known as Kangar, which is less fertile. the Khada belt, which is the newer and younger deposits of the floodplains and are called Khada. Khada means the newer, younger deposits of the floodplains. They are renewed almost every year and so are fertile, thus ideal for intensive agriculture. Now let us see the significance of northern plains. The northern plains of India are drained by rivers Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra along with their tributaries. Thus, these plains are very fertile and are rich sources of food grains in India, and they are known as granaries of the world. The plains are densely populated. A number of religious places are also there. Example, Varanasi, Rishikesh, Haridwar, etc. There is presence of number of perennial rivers. Example, Ganga, Yamuna, etc. and they provide water for irrigation. They have a dense network of transport such as railways and roadways. They provide the base for early civilizations. Okay, now let us sum up what we have learned in this session. We learned about the three parallel ranges of Himalayas, the Himadri, Himachal and Shivaliks. Division on the basis of demarcation of rivers, that is Punjab, Kumaon, Nepal, Assam and Purvanchal. Then we learned about the northern plains of India and division of it on the basis of rivers like Punjab plains, Ganga plains and Brahmaputra plains. And again the division of northern plains on the basis of relief like Bhabar, Tarai, Bankar and Khada. Hope you have understood what we have learned in this session. Read the textbook thoroughly and watch the video again and again. Meet you in the next session. Thank you.